Let's talk about how the format's doing right now. Make sure you guys smash the grab by that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out more content previously in the format. Oh my god, $140 Mulch Armies? I'm quitting this game. $60 Dominus Impulses? This is ridiculous. Oh my god, Yubel is still the best deck in the room. I'm quitting. This is so stupid. Yeah, that was the last couple of, I guess, hair follicle fallouts that I've seen from people. I got the chance to take a look at this week's tournament data, or at least some very early things out here. And you know what I'm seeing out here? There's less Fool Wars running around right now in this format than I think people want to hear right now. People want to hear that you have to spend $140 on Fool Wars. They want to hear that, you know, this game is unplayable because you have to have the Max C. No. Actually, I've been seeing quite the opposite. I've seen more Perulias this week than I've seen Fool Wars. And you're probably going to be like, really, Robbie? Like, yeah, it looks like Fool Wars has been, maybe, I'm not saying that Fool Wars is not seeing play right now. That is not a correct statement. I'm just saying there feels like a larger amount of people that are having success right now in the format than, you know, necessarily than needing to be spending money on Fool Wars. Fool Wars is a great card, but it definitely helps chances. But it is not impossible right now to be performing without Fool Wars. You can. All right, and Perulia, to the people that did have those already and they picked them up last format, they're able to have success right now with that. Isn't that great to hear, everybody? Isn't it really awesome to hear that, you know, you don't have to have that much money to play? I mean, there's still some other problems in the game. I mean, that's good. I'm happy to see that even though Fool Wars is a good card, it's not dictating our format the way it is. Now, Yubel. Oh, holy crap. Yeah, I got called crazy when I said Yubel was going to kind of fall from glory out here. And the result of it has come to pass, actually. Yubel's numbers are not doing too good on the regional side of things. There was one abnormality regional where Yubel had half of the top cut, which, I mean, you're going to break exceptions every now and again. But then most of the regional scape that I've been seeing, Yubel has definitely taken a much larger back seat out here. The deck just, it's not that the deck got incredibly worse or it lost anything. Because, you know, just 2-3 weeks ago, the deck was still very good. It's just, we have way more Fool Wars, way more Mulch Army, Perulia running around. So, you know, they're getting two draws off of it. Azamina Snake Eye just feels like a better deck versus the build in general. And then top things off, I mean, it's got to deal with the duality of the Snake Eyes variants, because not only do you have to deal with Pure, you've also got to deal with Fire King on the other side of the spectrum. So the deck is just, it's kind of being pulled all sorts of ways. And then you have Tenpai just breathing down your neck. All right, so it's got its issues right now. Like, it's genuinely funny to see how many problems Yubel is dealing with just in the current format. It's enough that it's knocked it down a peg. But to the people that are going to be like, well, you know, I don't think Yubel's not dead. There's a difference between being dead, not showing up at all, and just, wow, this deck is not performing up to the standard that it once was. It's a completely different creature. Centurion. This has been one of the coolest things that I have seen actually coming out of the format. All right, I am so happy to be seeing that Centurion is even performing at all. Ever since, you know, we had the King Calamity stuff stripped out of it and we got Primus out here, yeah, who would have guessed that it took the Allspark this much just to get the Centurion deck up and running? But at this point in time, Centurion is just, it feels like it can finally do everything that it wanted to do. The format has been dialed back enough. The deck finally has its own identity by not being identified as that Calamity Lock deck out here. And you're just able to go down these different routes, and your deck just consistently spams level 12s. And then in addition, if you're playing the Bysteel package, which means you're getting access to Yubel, and then of course the rest of the Goon Squad, as we call them, and of course, Branded Regain to get you that additional draw power, and then you just have a good utility toolbox of options available to you. Like, I think most regionals have had a Centurion player in the top cut, with some exceptions to the rule, but I've at least seen 5-6 Centurion tops just this weekend alone. I gotta clap for it, man. Like, that's so cool. That's way more Centurion than I've seen in like the last 6 months, up until the release of this card. And actually seeing that this deck has had its chance to change. That's what Yu-Gi-Oh! Is all about. So if you're a Rogue enjoyer out here and you've been wanting to see, some changes in the meta, give Centurion a shot, because I think that's probably going to be your best shot out here to kind of see what you can actually do. Now, it's no surprise to anybody out here that the dial back in power has put this format in such a better position, all right? I mean, minus the Malcharmies and things like that. We no longer have to deal with these crap ton of Omni negates. Yubel's the only real one's kind of like putting an Omni on the field besides Snake Eyes, as Amina, that puts up the M-board piece. And then, of course, the Desiree to kind of protect things depending on what they're doing. And then, of course, the big old angry wave Kaiser at the end of the board that you have to go, hi, not having to play through these really stupid cards like Baron de Fleur, I truly think has put our format in such a better state. Now you can decide, hey, do I need to go down this route? Does me making this board feel a little bit better? Centurion's the only one's really putting up the huge negates, and I mean that's because you got to deal with how many Cosmic Blazars are they throwing at you at this point? How many of these bigger monsters do I have to deal with to get to, where I need to be on my M board? That is fine. You're giving decks identities now, and they're getting the chance to actually play how they want to. And that is what I think has genuinely made this format. I'm sure to some people, they're going to look at this format and they're going to go, this format's absolute dog shit. What are you talking about, Robbie? When I can see just not one tier 0 deck out here, and I can see, the Malcharmies are counterbalancing out the rogue side of things. The top deck is not unbeatable. Hi, Snake Eyes, how are you? Yeah, Tenpai's still out here doing its thing, but, it's also not an unbeatable force. And you got even Labyrinth reperforming out here on the dial back. And the last thing I want to talk about here is Rogue, and specifically Voiceless Voice. Voiceless Voice, I've seen a lot more of this deck showing back up. Saravis has kind of been shoved to one. Most people have cut the effect monster Saravis, it's not the ritual. And then I've seen the Odd Eyes Pendulum Graph showing back up out here as probably the better option of the builds. Sure, for sure. All right. Rogue right now, as a whole, is doing way better because that line between tier 1, tier 1.5, and tier 2 is blurred a lot more. So, just resolving a Malcharmy, for example, for something like Voiceless Voice, can just put you in a better position. Resolving a Dominus Impulse, same thing. The toolbox available for the good decks is working in tandem with the rogue decks, not creating this massive, overpowered, skewing scale that's allowing them to do things. And I'm not going to say this format's truly balanced, or, Konami did a good thing, but if you got a lot more rogue performing right now, better than we had in the past, and these decks are looking a lot more fun right now, that means the format's doing good. And contrary to, popular belief, it took us a while to get to this point. I thought this format was going to be really awful, but the data so far, absolutely proving to be incorrect. Like, it's proving that this format is looking good. So what do you think about the current format as a whole? Please, leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later today, guys. Peace. patrons. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.